Hello. Hello and good evening. I would like to point out that I switch off now the sound installation that is part of this exhibition. I hope it works. Yes. Okay. So, in the name of Sylvie Liska and the Secession Friends, I warmly welcome you for the artist talk between Yuki Okumura and Pierre Bal-Blanc. My name is Bettina Spör, and I had the pleasure and honor to work with both of them on inspiring and challenging exhibitions now and in the past. Yuki Okumura conceived, in fact, two exhibitions in one. His solo exhibition titled Yuki Okumura and the group show Big White Playground that he organized and directed as a kind of navigator, as he calls it. For the last 2 years, Yuki Okumura did extensive research on the exhibition history of the Secession, with special focus on conceptual and performance artists. And that's how he also came across the exhibition The Death of the Audience, curated by Pierre Bal-Blanc in 2009. An exhibition that was mind-blowing in many ways and that we consider until today as one of the truly great shows this house has hosted. Pierre is always a welcomed guest in this house, and he has returned to Vienna time and again for projects thanks to his ongoing involvement with the Contact collection. Performance, and particularly conceptual performance, is a common denominator in Pierre Bal-Blanc's and Yuki Okumura's work. We will hear soon more about it in the conversation in the next 45 minutes. Please allow me to briefly introduce Pierre. He works now as a freelance curator and essayist, living between Athens and Paris and traveling half of the time. He reflects upon institutional frameworks and broad histories of performance art. When he developed The Death of the Audience in 2008-2009, he was the director of the Centre d'Art Contemporain Bretigny near Paris, where he created his first scores for performance exhibitions, including La Monnaie Vivante, Living Currency, and an exhibition that laid a foundation for many more projects to come. He was also a co-curator of Documenta 14 in Athens and Kassel under the artistic direction of Adam Simcek, and the guest curator of the 7th Lyon Biennial under the direction of Hans-Ulrich Obrist, also a curator who did a show at the Secession, and Stéphanie Moiston. In 2017, in collaboration with guest artists, he produced the exhibition Collective Exhibition for a Single Body at Documenta 14 before creating a new version of this project in 2019, the private score, based on pieces from the Contact collection. Focusing on artists from Central and Southeast Europe, this project was first shown in Vienna and at the M Museum in Leuven before traveling to other venues. In 2024, sorry, it's a long career. In 2024, he organized the climate-neutral suitcase exhibition with a very special selection of works held by Contact. For this project, no materialized artworks traveled to Paris, only concepts, ideas, and performance instructions documented on paper as well as in filmic and photographic form. These documents were packed into a suitcase and brought by the participating artists to Paris, where they were presented and reenacted. This project will soon see a continuation in the new building of the Museum of Modern Art in Warsaw. I'm taking this opportunity also to announce the program of tonight. This artist talk is followed by the opening of 3 exhibitions, here in the space Yuki Okumura and others, in the gallery downstairs Aglaya Konrad, and upstairs in the Grafisches Kabinett Anna Wass. The publications of Anna Wass, Aglaya Konrad, and Yuki Okumura are already available in the shop and as a free download on the Secession website. Also, we made a podcast with all 3 artists that will be published in the following weeks. And the last tweet, on the special occasion of this talk, the publication, The Death of the Audience, is available only tonight for the very special price of 15 euros. Enjoy the conversation.
In the shop? Oh, we just talk now? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for this beautiful welcome.
Thank you. Well, Pierre, so I never met you, before, but today we just met for the first time. But we only had exchange via email, and we already. I mean, yeah, as Bettina was, I think, saying, I was doing lots of research. I mean, not a lot, but about interventions. What kind of interventions have been made in this space? And one of the exhibitions I found really interesting was the one you did, the Death of the Audience. And so I sent you an email asking some questions about details, and you responded very kindly, and we did some exchange. That was the only dialogue we had. And today, finally, we met, and we will be talking in person.
Yes.
Right?
So in the meantime, I also have been more familiar with your work, because when you contacted me, I indeed answer about your very special question about where Jericho Vanda did his performance, for instance, which was to pour a cognac bottle in a corner of the Secession. So and I answer to you about this kind of question, and then we sometime passed, and then Bettina contacted me to ask me if I was interested to discuss with you more deeply. So that was for me a very interesting opportunity to go more deeper in your work, and I discover with a very great interest your different previous action, intervention, and I was quite amazed that we have such a close connection and close practice, that we share such a close practice. So I really enjoy to look at your work and to finally discover also a lot of works that I didn't know. And also for sure the concept of that show, of that particular show, the way you approach the space.
Are you talking about the Death of the Audience?
No, your show here currently.
My show here, okay.
Because this is an approach that I immediately understood as a way to approach two level, the time and the space, in a very
time in the space, time and space, yeah.
Which, and in a very articulated way, which means that you don't confuse the two, and I think you have a way to redefine finally these two aspects, these two notions, and I would add another one, which is action. So in a way, this is a bit this canon of time, space, action, which is usually this academic theater-free definition that I would say you redefine in a three different notion that I would summarize by duration,
duration,
milieu, milieu.
Sorry.
Milieu, it's
Milieu.
milieu. Milieu, this is difficult to translate, but it is used
Like
in
a field,
English.
or something.
Field,
Yeah.
milieu, but it's not space. It's milieu. It's something that relates to a very specific place. It's a milieu, so it is different than space, which is like abstract. And the third, it's not action, it's performance.
Performance. Yeah, great.
So duration, milieu, performance are the three way that you, I think, redefine a bit these notions that were usually used to be treated time, space, and action.
Yeah.
So
I
I
like-
don't know if you agree, but
I like those terms, yes. Especially performance, duration. Milieu is kind of unfamiliar to me, but maybe before we talk deeper, I wanted to clarify for everyone, because I forgot if it was mentioned already, but this exhibition, this space, just that structure of the show, I have 2 video works on one screen there. They play alternately. And otherwise, within my solo exhibition, I'm organizing a group exhibition. And with people who work here in this institution as guards, as cleaners, as educators and installers, exhibition setup staff. So the objects you see in the space are made by those people who participated in my workshop. So the redefinition of the space and time and action, or approaching them, done by them actually. I have one work in the group show, but otherwise. So I'm curious how to say. So it's not, of course, I'm here as something like a navigator, because I conducted a workshop, and in this workshop, everyone invented their own processes through my guidance. But still, it was them who invented all those, who conceived all those actions and carried out those actions. So, because you said like you feel me redefining space, time, action as duration, milieu, and performance.
yes.
But did you feel it here now, or
Sure,
through
for
my...
sure. But I can elaborate a little bit around this. Because, so I explained that because this is also my own practice as a curator. I'm not an artist. But I choose to be curator. It's a way to choose by default a role, because the roles are determined by the context, by the institution, by the art milieu, by the situation. So you can choose to be an artist, you can choose to be a curator, you can choose to be different roles. I very early at the art school decided to make that choice, and it's a way to organize also some resource and to face also these 3 parameters: the time, the space, and the action. So in the project I'm doing, I also practice this dimension. So what I see in your project through the way you use, for instance, duration instead of time, is because you offer to bring a kind of organic memory even if it's an abstraction, even if it's artificial more than an abstraction, it's very concrete. It's not an abstraction. Sorry, it's more artificial. This memory, the memory of the place, is mediated by a very tangible, durational, living story, which is mediated by Willy, first of all, that I had the chance to also work with when we did the Death of the Audience. So I have to say that what is different than relating about the history of the secession like through time, which would be that you put one event after the other.
Once what?
One event, one exhibition. You just listed event or exhibition. What you find a way to do in a very simple way is to put this through the body of Willy, through the living Willy, which
Wait,
is...
maybe I need to explain.
Yeah.
So one of the videos I have features Wilhelm Montebello, but people call him Willy, and he's there. But he used to be working here for more than 20 years as the chief installer. And the video is now there. I visited him with my wife. My wife got a camera. And in the film, he's sharing his memory of the exhibitions he set up with his team in this space with us. But at the same time, sometimes he says, "My name is Hauptraum." In this space is called Hauptraum, right? Main space. And he also says, "I am the space. Welcome to my space." Things like that. So he literally personifies the space through his voice and through his body. And his subjective memories are presented as if that's the memories of the space itself through the four speakers. So you are talking about this.
That, exactly. This is an artificial display, one more time, very, very modest and very, in a way, economical, to solve this problem of not being in the succession, but being in the duration. That's what for me is very important, because you through this very simple way, we are informed, we are in presence of the history of the secession through a living experience, which is mediated by, in a very different filters that we can see on the film, but we see on the model that you brought at his house now, etc. So all that it's an example to express what is the difference between time and duration.
So you mean duration is something like lived,
Yes.
lived and subjective?
Yeah,
Also,
it is, and it is also something that it's impossible to fix it. It's something that you experience from your point in the present, and that all the time you have to reactivate it. Yeah. So that's something which is really different than time frozen.
Because time is more objective, and but I think I really understand what you're saying, although I cannot articulate it, but I know what you mean, I think. So I'm happy that you shared it. Like,
I mean, maybe there is other example in your previous work about these attempts to speak about. I will take another one, which is the space and
action?
No, the space and the milieu, but one that I know well because you did this work in Japan, I think, measuring Roman on Duck.
Measuring Roma on duck, yes.
Yes. So measuring Roman on Duck is an exhibition that was happening in Tokyo.
Right.
Yeah.
At the gallery called Misako and Rosen. And the director is here now, Jeffrey.
Okay. And so you simply related to a kind of famous piece of Roman on Duck, which is measuring the universe, and that is a protocol that is supposed to be developed in a wide cube like this, where each visitor is entering the space is measure is high and not notice on the wall. So which create after like a large amount of visitors a constellation of traces over the wall. So your way to receive this work, I would say, and to give an answer or to prolong this work as well, because I see it as a prolongation, as a conversation, as something that you are a receiver of the work, and you have to do something with this legacy in a way. So you offer to organize the same display, but the only difference is that the only trace would be if Roman on Duck come in that space, he will be the only one to be measured on the wall.
Right.
So you reduce, finally you convert and you make an inversion of the process into his own individual body and presence, which is difficult to preview because you don't invite him, or did you invited him to come?
I kind of forgot, but I sent him an email that I want to do this.
Okay.
And, I think I said we want to invite you, or I guess, but he couldn't make it. But then I thought, because initially I really wanted to measure him.
Yeah.
Initially, I wanted the exhibition to be empty space except this one line and his name and date. But then he said he cannot, now I remember, he said he couldn't come. Then I thought, oh, maybe it would be even perhaps better. The space keeps empty and it's just filled with expectation of his arrival.
Yeah.
So just like, for me, this space is, even when it's empty, it's full of memories of people.
Sure.
Not just Willy's, but many different people's memories are here. So just like that, the empty space for this piece, measuring Roman on Duck, is physically empty, it's a void, but full of expectation.
Exactly.
Then I thought it's kind of interesting.
Expectation, but it's also something that relates to the space where it's happened, because the expectation to see a Roman on Duck appearing in that space, the probability if it's in Japan is quite, Roman live in Bratislava, so I don't think he go to Japan so often, or he could go, but this is talking also about distance and about the space where it is happening. So that's why it is also about a very spatial environment, a milieu, and also finally Roman on Duck become the embodiment of the space intervention. So this is how I see that you speak of space embody.
Right. Now you reminded me that at that time I was thinking Roman is actually performing the work, although he's just living his life. But with my work, he was kind of forced to be always performing. Like on Kawara, on Kawara, never presented himself to the public, but he would only show traces of his life through his works. But this act of not presenting himself to the public itself was a performance, I think.
Yes,
so his
sure.
whole life was like a performance. And in a similar sense, yeah, Roman was performing, and still now he's performing because I haven't measured him.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's an interesting way to approach performance, like you say about Onkawara. So by the absence of performance.
Yeah, exactly.
By not being here, I have had the chance to hang the retrospective of Onkawara in Hamburg in 90. I think it was 92. And it was in Deichterhallen in Hamburg, and I was working there at that time, and as a hanger, like our
right.
colleague, yes. And but we never met on Kawara.
Right.
He was not there.
He was-
So he
he was-
never
come.
show up. So that was a very interesting experience, because his work is so about the trace of his life, his diary is all about the control and the way he testify of every action at a daily basis. So doing all this installation without having him was very curious.
Yeah, so I think it's like, I think you said absence of performance, but also I would say the absence of the performer. The performer's body is not there, but performance is happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like his life itself is the performance. So it's, yeah. The body. So I was also curious about your project. Score for single body?
Yeah, it's a collective exhibition for a single body.
Single body.
Yes, so this is very close to what you are initiating here, for example, with the team of the Secession. The project I have initiated in Documenta, which has that title, Collective Exhibition for a Single Body, was based on this standard of exhibition. There is collective exhibition, there is solo exhibition. So collective exhibition means that it's collective, but for a single body was put in order to be mediated by a single person. So I commissioned to 12 artists participating to the Documenta to provide a score,
The instructions.
an instruction
Words.
that was possible for a performer to realize without any accessories, any things that only the body. And each of these artists deliver an instruction, and the 12 instructions were like a repertoire of gesture at the disposal of the performer, who were inhabiting the museum of the archaeological museum of Piraeus in Piraeus, where they perform at an everyday level.
One person.
No, they perform the 12 gesture.
Oh, I thought one person was performing 12.
Yes, one person, one performer performed 12
Yeah.
gesture in the order and so much they wanted. So they were free to use this repertoire of gesture all along the day and perform in the museum this gesture.
So in this exhibition, you see one person.
You see 3 persons, because I hired 3 dancers to continually be present in the museum, and they had each the 12 gesture
Okay.
to articulate, and they did it in the order and in the frequency they wanted.
They wanted. It's really, perhaps you didn't. In your list of my previous works, I didn't
Yeah.
see it. I think,
Yeah.
but 2022, I did a big project in Japan for Aichi Triennale.
Yes, I saw it. Yeah.
You saw it, and
yeah.
like it was about this exhibition in 1969 in Seattle,
Yeah.
curated by Lucy Lippard,
Okay.
and it was about all the artists. Most of the artists didn't come to the museum, but they only sent instructions. And Lucy and other people at the museum, they executed most of the actions to produce objects. And my version was to do everything by myself. So 30 instructions I did only through my body. But not just, it wasn't like yours, because I think yours, this for a single body, was more like dancing and producing no objects, right?
No, yeah.
But
Only gesture.
gestures.
Yeah.
In my version, every action was to produce output, tangible output.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. But this installation was composed of different objects generated through the procedures I did. But the important thing for me, many people misunderstood that I wanted to reconstruct the exhibition in 1969. But I didn't want to make a copy of the original work, but I wanted to generate a new result, different result, different outcome, because it was my body to do all the actions. So, mediated by my body, my life, the same instruction can produce a totally different result, unpredictably, to reflect my body and also time, the situation today, situation in Japan.
Yeah.
So I think it was also a question about here and now,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think this is also what I share with you is this way that you attach very much importance to the reception of the cultural of the collective culture or of the collective memory. So, and the way you not just stay as a passive receiver, but you become an active receiver. And how your practice is really something about the depth of the audience and the birth of something which is much more active, which is in a position of using resources, open source resources, in a way to make something for ourselves. So I think
I totally understand.
yes, because that was the topic of the Death of the Audience when I have been invited here by the board of the Secession to do this exhibition. Initially, the tradition was to do the young scene.
Young scene.
Young
Yeah.
scene.
This annual, was it annual scene?
I don't know if it was
Or
annual,
every
but
few years?
anyways, it was young scene. And they told me, we would like to invite you to do something which is more like old scene. So, I quite like the idea, and I because I have a very kind of interest about the old people,
Old people.
and I had a lot of friends of old artists that
like Gilles Covander and
yes, like David Lamolas, Franz Radwald, or Nicolas L. Anne Halprin, enfin, all these artists who are part of this show were at that time, in 2009, it's quite a long time ago now, but we have to understand that at that time, all these artists were completely neglected. They were not at all considered.
So they were
Even the one who are now very, very everywhere, like Franz Walter, at that time he was completely out of the radar. So these people, I had some relations since the 90s with most of them, and I consider these artists as one of them has described this generation as a professional outsider.
Professional outsider.
Yeah, that's John Latham who defined this position. John Latham.
John Latham.
Yes.
I like him, yes.
This English artist. He articulated this concept of professional outsider. And basically, this is quite interesting for all the artists I brought at that time, because they were all a bit marginalized, outsider of the canon, and they were all concerned by this question of receiving and transmitting and giving like solution to bring art at an everyday level of the life and making something quite concrete at everyday base. You know, not something that is exceptional and just isolated, but something embodied in the everyday life. So that's why this question of the receiver is for me important, because, and that's why I took this initial death of the author of Roland Barthes into death of the audience, because the logic of the death of the author is to also go beyond the roles and make something new happening, a more fluid position, a more versatile practice based, and a possibility to have a reversibility of position, basically.
Sorry?
A reversibility of position.
Reversibility.
Yes, because for instance, in this situation, you are at one point the curator, then you come back at artist, and then you become you are finally audience.
Yeah.
So you do all the position, and this position, basically, we all kind of have this fluidity of position, but it's never really said. But in every exhibition, the artist become the audience of his own exhibition. But when that has been articulated, it's become much more productive, much more creative for everybody.
I think I wanted to, one thing I wanted to say is that I don't like exhibitions when they function more like theater, because theater for me is about something happening not here, not now. But so I want exhibitions to be performance. Performance is something that's happening right here, right now. So it's why did I think about this now?
No, but you are
really
you are touching a very important point, because that's exactly the difference I do between action and performance.
Yeah.
You know, action are some things that could be on stage and anywhere, like offshore. Performance is all the time inscribed, anchor in the situation. So that's the same that you did here, this intervention on the pillars with the...
my work in a group show.
Your brilliant intervention, which is to reveal the aluminium pillars
Is it
of the building.
chrome steel or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the metal, but it's look like aluminium or something, which is initially the restoration, as I understood, of the Hauptraum, and it was covered after with white paint, and so you just reveal this part to do your self-portrait, like it's in the shape of your face. That's a very nice way to anchor also your speech or your or your propos. I don't know your what you address here.
So I want just to take the term, the death of the audience. This really resonates with me because, in this exhibition, what you see, those objects made by the participants of my project, the staff members of the Secession, are all like results of actions that basically anybody can do. Very simple procedures, technically doable for almost anybody. That's something I like in terms of the death of the audience, because when I see a great painting, super skillful painting, beautiful painting, then I look at it and I always trace the action of the artist. When I see artworks, I always just retrace the action, what the artist did. And when the work is too great, I can't do it because my body is not capable of doing this skillful process.
Yeah.
Then I will stay just as the audience. But when the procedure is easy enough for my body to do, then I become, I can do it by myself. So this is the moment I'm not an audience anymore, but I become, the activator, potential activator of it.
Okay.
So this is, for me, what art is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's what I like also among all this notion is also another aspect in your work. It's the way you become your subject.
I become my subject.
Yeah, you become your subject, but you choose often an artist as a subject. So you become this artist.
Yeah, in my previous works. Especially.
Yes, in your previous work. And this is a process that I think is very interesting. Like, for instance, what you did with Gordon Matter-Clark, and you initiate like a trip to Antwerp to meet the curator who initiated the installation, the site-specific project Office Baroque, and you become like the narrator, the embodied narrator of that story, and trying to make a conversation with this curator. Everything is very clear, given. Nothing is secret. We know that you are not Gordon Matter-Clark, and that the curator has to agree to play this game. But everything is such consistent in the history and the legacy of this story, because you find one more time a very economical, a very modest way to give like an angle on historical fact, on art history, which is extremely pertinent, I have to say.
Extremely.
Pertinent, extremely convincing, extremely touching. Because for sure, there is treatise, there is historical analysis about Gordon Matta Clark, but your contribution brings something extremely interesting among all this spectrum of possibilities. What you did also on with this initial Yun Yang, when the translator become the artist, and finally we are facing the narration of the artist through the translator. Maybe you can explain.
Yeah, like so. I think 15 years ago, almost, I began kind of work on projects literally to do with translation. I was using language as a tool to go beyond individual bodies or identities, different biographies. In both works you just mentioned, I just use simple, how to say, repurposing or redirecting of the pronoun in the project about Gordon Matta Clark. This is a project about me as a possible reincarnation of Gordon. Because, well, it's an anecdote, just because I was born in the year in which he died, and also I had a brother, he also had a brother, both committed suicide by jumping. So I thought, I felt something, I felt sympathy with him. And through this as a departure point, I began this project. But what I did was just literally changing the target of the pronoun I, me, to him, not to me, but to Gordon. So in this other project you just talked about Jun Yang, Jun came to my school in Tokyo to give a lecture about his work in English, and next to him there was an interpreter. She was speaking Japanese, but in my film you only see her, and so she acts as if Jun himself. And so it was just a very simple linguistic game, language game. But then recently, I'm more into performances, performative procedures, bodies, as a way to go beyond individuality. But my interest is more in the impossibility of exchanging bodies, exchanging identities, or going beyond them. You try to do it, but it's impossible, and that's something.
So I think what is interesting is that at the moment I just opened a show in London at the moment, which is the title is the Jeff Wall collection on sale.
Jeff Wall collection on sale. And I got the email and I was very confused.
Yes, that's by purpose. So that's a bit a small story that we share, because my very first public action happened in Lyon in 1988. I initiated an exhibition with some student. I was still in the art school, but outside of the school, like our first outside show. And each of us did a project, and I chose to do a critics, a text critic, a review of the exhibition of Jeff Wall that was happening at the same time in the city.
But okay, you were still a student.
I was still a student, and I was quite attracted by art critics. And I chose to simply put the text I wrote on Jeff Wall on the wall.
As your work, as an artist, then.
Yeah, that was. I have to specify that the title of the show, of the collective show, was 5 Human Bees Exhibit.
5 human.
5 human bees.
Human bees.
Yes.
Human and bees.
Human bee. Human. 5 human exhibit.
Okay.
We didn't want to
Sorry.
call.
Sorry.
We didn't want to call ourselves artist, curator, anything.
Human.
Because we felt that the category, the roles were not appropriate. So we just say human.
Human.
5 human exhibits. So that's why I was not presenting myself as an artist already. And I show Jeff Wall on the wall. I really did these reviews. And then the next project I have done after this project were sign Jeff Wall. Because that became, the subject became my first identity. Because my name was meaning nothing.
Sorry, you mean you used a pseudonym? You used.
No, I just used Jeff Wall as the label, the brand for the next action that come after this one. So it was a way to be more relevant in what I was doing, a way to build my identity by act, but not by essence. Not because I am Pierre Bal-Blanc, but because I did my first work on Jeff Wall. So that's how I elaborated this kind of simple strategy also to use Jeff Wall as my brand for in a way express my future action, my future.
Without asking him.
Yes, I don't ask permission, but he knows that. Yes,
He knows
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's something that quite close to your strategy. So that's why I have maybe just to finish myself to say that I am a curator. I am not an artist, but I think you are an artist. But you are you are maybe not an artist, but you are a curator.
I'm not an artist, but maybe I'm a curator.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I will think about it. Okay, actually, time comes. Okay. So thanks, Pierre. I want to talk more, but
Yeah,
just
for
cannot.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Merci. Thank you very much for your.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Merci.